Anne Salz at the Mobile Marketing Forum in London for bnetTV, GOMO News, and Mobile Groove. And I'm speaking with Bill Ogle, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Motorola Mobility. We'll get to that, but he's also a board member of the CMO Council. So we'll start off with that hat, Bill. CMO Council, you had some very interesting results from your survey. I'd like you to deep dive into some of those for me.
Yeah, I think that one of the major elements of the survey that we do globally, dealing with 6,000 CMOs all over the world in every category you can imagine, was the preponderance of social media as being a key incremental element of what people want to invest in 2011, compared to 2010, which was really a bit more traditional. A lot of TV, outdoor, radio, newspaper, print. We're seeing a big change in social media and CMOs' willingness to invest in it. And I think that what we're finding is mobile marketing as a subset of that is really starting to grow. In 2011, marketers around the world thought they'd spend about 2% of their budgets in mobile marketing specifically. And it was a massive growth over the prior year. And my expectation, we're doing the survey again in just another month or so, is that ought to at least double. What we're really finding is marketers are realizing that this is a valuable, viable space for them, and they're starting to put their budgets where their mouth is, and they're starting to invest where they think that they're going to get the best returns.
So they get social, they're starting to get mobile. What does that tell us about the direction this is taking and what marketers are going to need to understand to just bring it that next step forward?
I think that the world of generic messaging, one message spread all over the world for a new product launch, it has gone away. People are realizing that consumers are looking for different things from a same product, and that the message you have to create to really bring consumers into your product has to be targeted, and it has to be a unique message where you can have give and take. And so many people are now disbelieving in pure marketing. They think that companies are giving messages they don't believe in anymore. So more and more people are really listening to their friends for recommendations. They're listening to what people they trust from an influencer standpoint, from athletes to movie stars. They listen to them more than they do generic marketing messages. So the question is, how are you as a marketer going to be able to create a message to consumers that's customized, but it has that aura of authenticity, that other people know your product, they recommend your product, and that's just as important as one broad message out.
So with that in mind, and keeping in mind that it can't be generic, it has to be customized, it has to be relevant, we've heard those words already, then we get to the question of it can't be interruptive. So what are your views on sort of the etiquette here? Does it have to be, for example, all advertising marketing opt-in, some of it, some rules, some guidelines? How do we bridge that how do we make that message count but also be accepted?
I don't necessarily think you have to always opt in. I think context is critical. When you're emailing with friends or coworkers, people really don't want a third-party message coming in. It's almost a kind of a private communication that you're having. However, what we're finding is that when you're browsing, when you're shopping online, getting a relevant message while you're shopping, actually consumers are really positive towards. It's almost like your phone is helping you. It's becoming a guide for you. No matter what you're searching for, if you're looking for a new car, or you're looking for insurance, getting quotes, getting thoughts that come to you automatically is a perfectly viable opportunity. And in fact, consumers relish getting incremental data because they don't always know where to find that data when they go online. So browsing, searching, shopping are perfect opportunities on your mobile to create a message and send that message. People are open to it. But when you're doing a one-way communication that's either private or an email that's work-related, people really aren't that open to having third-party messages come in.
So it's really engage with them at the right moment, when they have that, that moment of truth, that moment of intent, what have you. That's a great way to get to your other project, which is Engage at Every Stage, which is an awesome name, by the way, because it's really well thought out. Just tell me about it, because it seems to be a mix of mobile marketing, CRM, loyalty, and all of the above.
Well, if you think about it, CMOs typically are a bit older than the average marketer. And what you find is many of them didn't grow up in the digital world. And this is almost an educational opportunity for senior marketers to understand context, to understand data that maybe they don't have, to give them an education so they're much more comfortable and they understand some of these new methods to reaching consumers. It's really interesting that not only do you have to educate the head marketer, you have to educate the chief financial officer, you have to educate the chief sales officer on test cases of other categories. Here's the ROI that was developed. Here's how it worked in other categories and other brands. Here's why it's something we ought to at least test for our company. So when you start learning about it and use an element that the Chief Marketing Officer Council is trying to create as an educational tool, not just for marketers, but for senior leaders in an organization to understand how impactful a program around mobile can be, and for people to test it. Is mobile the perfect thing for every company? No. But if we can educate people with enough tools and enough data to help them understand when and where it's appropriate, I think we'll all win.
Okay, real quick one, Bill. Other hat, Motorola Mobility now. Tell me something. What's next?
Well, it's the beginning of October. We're hitting the high seasonality, the holiday time periods. This is a time when most mobile phone companies launch some of their biggest products. There's some really big products coming out from Motorola here in the next month or so. So we're really excited. There's new technologies, new products, and it's the right time of the year. So there's a lot of pent-up demand. There's a lot of buzz on the blogosphere about all the different products coming out right now, and it's going to be a good battle in Q4 for share. And I think we're well positioned.
And a new company. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. And for bnetTV, GOMO News and Mobile Groove, I'm Peggy Anne Salz.